Hello, everybody, and welcome to my review of One Piece, chapter 1069. And my word, what an adventure Oda, or Goda, as the fans like to call him, has brought us on today. So, One Piece chapter 1069, which is titled The Desire of All Things Are Born to This World. Very long title. Um Anyways, in the chat I have posed a question to you all, and I would like to see what you guys think. Luffy versus Lucci round 2 predictions. Go. Tell me if you think Luffy's gonna win, if you think Lucci's gonna win, or if you think something totally random is gonna happen that's gonna stop them both from fighting. Um so One Piece 1069, The Desire of All Things Are Born to This World. We start off with a cover page from the series Germa 66's An Emotionless Voyage. Volume 26, Loan Shark King Dufeld's Charitable Work, the Research Institute of Peace, MADS. So this is apparently the ship that um was was used to sail around by the members of MADS back in the day. It says pacifist on the top, which is interesting. Anyways, we don't really care about the cover story right now. Getting straight into the action. All of the inhabitants of Egghead Island are running for their lives because Lucci just completely destroyed Atlas. Um, so we get back to the point where Luffy and Lucci see each other. Luffy is currently carrying Jewelry Bonnie, but sees Lucci, and pretty much in short order, punch fighting begins. And punch fighting, as Grand Line Review always says. I believe his name is Liam, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, um they start fighting, but first Kaku's the level-headed one. He's like, yeah, don't fight him without permission from the top brass. He's become a Yonko now, blah 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 blah. And Jinbei is also just like, hey, don't fight him, it's gonna be a lot more trouble if you do. But Luffy and Lucci look at each other, and I'm sure at this point Lucci's like, this dude like kicked my ass back in the day. This is my revenge. This is my this is my redeeming, or my redemption game, as I like to call it in Dead by Daylight. Um so Lucci just like, yeah, this dude didn't run it back before, so we bout to run it back. Um but yeah, before all that, Luffy of course needs some reason to be mad at him. So he sees that Atlas was defeated by him, and he's just like, yo, she gave us something to eat, bro. Like, she gave me food, and that makes somebody my friend if they give me food, so you don't hurt my friend, so I'm about to hurt you. Um so we flash over to Marine headquarters, where Admiral Aquino is just finding out that the Straw Hats are on Egghead Island, and they're just like, this probably means that Vegapunks realize that Cypher Paul is here to kill him. And so he's he says, kind of out loud jokingly to the Straw Hats, he says, if you're gonna declare war, you could have consulted with me first, you damn brats. So what's funny is that this really is a mirror of Enies Lobby, um, which maybe my theory is wrong here, because like I thought Wano was a mirror image of Skypia, and I thought history was repeating itself, but really history is reverse repeating itself. Um, well, no, it is correctly repeating itself, because it went Skypia, then it went Water 7, then it went Enies Lobby. And so, yeah, my theory is completely true. History is definitely repeating itself, because Wano had so many mirrors to Skypia, and Egghead is pretty much a mirror image of Water 7, but reversed. Um, because now, instead of the Straw Hats invading um, the place where Cypher Paul was, now Cypher Paul is invading the place where the Straw Hats were, and Cypher Paul is in essence, well, I mean, technically, the Straw Hats are declaring war, even unintentionally. The second they stepped on the island, they declared war on the world government again. Um, just because, as Lucci points out, like, you guys do know that this is a government island, like this is owned by the world government, and you pirates are on it. um but yeah, so Akanu's kind of peeved. So he's just like, yeah, if Vegapunk allies himself with Straw Hat, it will leave a crack on our enormous military strength, meaning that Vegapunk is a very, very important part of the world government. Um, and if he joins up with the Straw Hats, like, the world government loses the smartest person in the entire world. Um, but he says Kizaru is headed to Egghead Island right now. Um, and tell Lucci that he should wait for the Marines' arrival, and he must not fight against Straw Hat at all costs. Well, that's definitely gone out the window, because here we are, Luffy versus Lucci, round 2, and Lucci done got a glow up. Lucci done got a huge glow up. Lucci got the what is it, the Zoan flame wreath around him, and I wonder if this is like standard for all Zoans. um but yeah, he got the Zoan flame wreath, and his body is like, he's still chonky, but he lean. Like, he went from being like huge muscles to being like, I got lean muscle now. So now he can be strong and he can be extremely fast at the same time. Um so this is his Nekonomi, the cat fruit, model leopard in awakening form. So Lucci has also awakened his devil fruit. Um which is extremely interesting. Vegapunk rushes in and says, shock as he appeared, the White Warrior. Frankie is absolutely just in love with seeing the real Vegapunk. Um, and so Vegapunk's like, what this transformation called? The Straw Hats are like, we don't really know. It never got explained to us. He just did it once, and Vegapunk's like, yeah, this looks like the sun god Nika, but they said he's told us that his power is the Gum Gum fruit, the Gomu Gomu no Mi. And Vegapunk says there is no record of the Gomu Gomu no Mi written in the old Devil Fruit Encyclopedia at all, which means, and this is monumental, people, this means that not only does Luffy not actually have the Gum Gum fruit, but the Gum Gum fruit does not exist in One Piece. I know that would flip people on their heads. So many people on their heads if they heard it. and you heard it here first, folks, the gum gum fruit does not exist in the world of One Piece. So yeah. We've gone 25, nearly 30 years thinking that our main character had the gum gum fruit, and the fruit that we thought he had doesn't even exist in that world. Blows my mind. So Vegapunk starts explaining that this form looks like Sun God Nika. And yeah, and they said, Nika, never heard of it. He said, of course you haven't, because the name has been erased from history. Vegapunk knows all the stuff about Ohara. Ohara is all the people who were studying the Void Century, and Nika was around during that Void Century 900 years ago. So we get to. So I just want to start off this part by saying I thought the most exciting part of this chapter was going to be Luffy versus Lucci Round 2. I really did. But Oda, oh my god, Oda manages to do the impossible. And I'm just gonna ruin something right here. The comic is going on break for quite a while, as far as I've heard the manga is. And this is what this is Oda's style. This is what he does every time before break. He gives a chapter of a ton of information to keep people talking, keep people guessing and stuff. And then and when the break comes back, he gives he either gives a big reveal or he gives a big shock moment. So this is Oda trying to get everything in that he wants to get done in the story, like right now before he goes on break. So and that's why we're getting, and you can kind of tell based on the panel style, when Oda is rushing and he's trying to get information out, then we get these big panels where the entire picture is like 18 different squares. People are saying everything everywhere, and it's a big lore dump is what it is. So, but anyways, Oda managed to do the impossible by making the return of a former villain and the fight with an upgraded Luffy and an upgraded villain not the main focus. I thought Luffy versus Lucci was going to be the most important part of this chapter, but the most important part of this chapter comes right here, where Dr. Vegapunk finally explains the origin of devil fruits and actually explains where devil fruits come from. He says the devil fruits are the potential of human evolution that humanity wished for. In essence, what he says is that, or paraphrased, what he says is that devil fruits came into existence because people wished for superpowers. Humanity wanted superpowers, and because they wished for it hard enough, it became real. This is actually a very big concept in psychology called the tulpa effect. And this has been attributed to Slenderman and also Santa Claus. Very different characters, but both affected by the tulpa effect. The tulpa effect says that if enough people believe in something, that something becomes real. In essence, Santa Claus exists if and only if enough of humanity believes he exists. And due to so many children believing that Santa Claus exists, he therefore exists in some sense. And so what Vegapunk is saying here is that not even some sense, this actually happened. People wanted superpowers and the progression of evolution so bad that the world just that they willed it into being. The world just created what they wanted. Somebody said, "Hey, I want to be a leopard." Somebody said, "Hey, I want to be able to swim through land." Um, and everything that humanity wished for came true, became a part of the One Piece world, which is absolutely crazy. Um, and so what Vegapunk says is, these so-called devil fruit users are beings living in a completely different world that many people wished for and envisioned. So devil fruit users are being given a little piece of the ideal world, of the next stage of human evolution. So yeah, he straight up says it. Devil fruit users are, and devil fruits are the next stage in human evolution. Um, and pretty much devil fruit users are getting a little piece of heaven. Um, which is absolutely crazy. So literally devil fruits are wishes, and devil fruit users are gods. That's why he says there's no need to think about whether there is a god or not. Devil fruit users are gods compared to regular humans. Um, what's interesting is that there's a drawback. So he says that the sea rejects this because the sea is the basis of nature, and devil fruits are by nature an abnormality. They did not come to the world through natural means. Um, and so the sea rejects them, and that is why devil fruit users cannot swim and are weakened by seawater. Um, it's interesting that that is the cost to the cost to become a god is that you have to eat a fruit, which Kaku, when he ate his devil fruit, said that it tasted very bad, that devil fruits are actually very bitter. um and I think Luffy even mentioned that when he was eating his fruit, that it tasted really bad. And so that's the cost. You eat a fruit that tastes really bad, and you get superpowers, but you lose the ability to swim. Um, and see what weakens you. So yeah. So moving forward in the chapter, Sentomaru starts leading the Seraphim, and this is the big part where it comes down to it. And Vegapunk's like, "Hey, you got about 5 seconds to make your decision here, Sentomaru. Um, are you gonna be on the side of the Marines, or are you gonna be on the side of me and progress and the future?" And and Sentomaru's like, this is a really big pressure for me. Like I'm a part of the Marines, and by attacking these Marines, won't I be defecting also? And he's like, "Yeah, probably should have asked you about that." um, so pretty much at this point, Kaku looks at the S Bear Seraphim and says, "Go ahead and destroy one of those Seraphim." And here we find out the order of authority, because Sentomaru then orders the Esper to destroy one of CB0. And by doing this, Sentomaru officially defects from the Marines. Sentomaru is now a traitor to the Marines. Um, so the Esper goes to attack the members of CP0, and Stussy, who is our intel expert, explains that the pacifistas have a rank of authority, and specifically the Seraphim have a rank of authority that um, whoever holds the authority chip is at the bottom of this tier level for controlling the Seraphim. So the holder of the authority chip is at the bottom. Then it goes Sentomaru, Dr. Vegapunk, which includes Stella and all of the satellites, and at the very top, the five elders. If the five elders or the seraphim uh, are programmed so that if the five elders order them to do anything, they are absolutely required to do it. And no one else has the authority to change that order. Um, so Kaku says, Lucci, why aren't you thinking this through? Why are you fighting Straw Hat? Um, Luffy is just going wild and like he's not pulling his punches at all. He does the mole pistol, so he punches the ground and then has the ground turn into rubber and punch his opponent. So Sentomaru starts ordering the Seraphims as S Snake guide the Straw Pirates to the Frontier Dome using the vacuum rocket. S Hawk and S Shark hold off CP0 here. This is when Jinbei realizes that they are cloning the seven warlords of the sea when he sees his own clone. And I'm sure Jinbei was like, do I have a kid? So Luffy is absolutely having the time of his life, and he's fighting Lucci, and like in the middle of this fight, he's also talking to Sentomaru and totally not paying attention to Lucci at all. So Sentomaru's like, so you let Old Man Punk escape with you? And Luffy's like, yeah, it's fine, he requested it. And Sentomaru's like, I don't know if I can rely on you. We're still enemies. Who would have thought you'd become an emperor? I can't understand this form of yours. And in a flash, like faster than anyone can think, Lucci comes up and just stabs Sentomaru through the chest. Sentomaru is the man who has said he has the best armament haki defense in the world, and he just got one shot by Lucci in an instant. Like you could have blinked and it would have been done. So instantly, Lucci just ruthlessly takes out Sentomaru. We don't know if Sentomaru's dead, but it looks pretty bad. So Luffy's like, axe guy. And Lucci says, we just have to kill the control tower, by which he means we have to kill everybody who has authority over the Sentinels that doesn't agree with us before us. So he's saying we have to kill Sentomaru and we have to kill Vegapunk, Stella, and all the satellites. He's just like, we're going to cut out the middleman. If there are people who have authority over these seraphims in our way, we just kill them. And he calls out, Seraphim, obey our orders. And yeah, that's really scary. Rob Lucci has gotten so powerful that his view on life is just, if someone doesn't want to help me, if someone is against me or doesn't agree with me, just kill them. Like his mentality is my way or the die way. And I'm gonna patent that. I'm gonna patent that as an Afro X original quote: "My way or the die way." But yeah, that is the end of the chapter. Says here, serialization break. We will resume on Weekly Jump New Year issues number 4 through 5. So looking at the schedule, my best guess is we're not gonna get another chapter. We're not gonna get 1070 until probably either the second, most likely the second week of January. Is where I'm guessing, because I'm guessing they're gonna skip a week for Christmas, they're gonna skip a week for New Year's, then we'll probably get 1070 on the second week of January. So we're looking at probably about half a month here with no One Piece, which is kind of a drag, but thankfully Oda gave us so much content, so much stuff to talk about. Thank you so much for that. This live stream has run very long. Well, usually these last about a half hour, but thank you so much for paying attention. And I know this is kind of boring. I know listening to me explain about a chapter without actually seeing it is boring. I didn't have time today to make a whole video with the clips showing stuff like that. I hope you like the last one. But yeah, I just didn't have time to make that big of a production today. Uh, but thank you so much for paying attention and just being here. Like I honestly, I don't even mind if you just turn on my live stream and do stuff in the background. Um, or if you turn on my live stream in the background and do stuff that you're doing throughout your day, as long as I see a one view on that board, I feel like I'm not talking to myself, and that really means something. So thank you. Anyways, that is all for the review of chapter 1069. Hashtag nice. But yeah, uh, just to let you guys know, we do have a Patreon. You can sign up there to donate to the channel in increments of 5, 10, 30, 50, or $100 a month. And do that, like, specifically if you like my content. Like, don't do it out of pity or whatever, but do it if you actually like my content, because I don't want to be getting money for nothing. I want to be actually providing a service, if you know what I mean. Other stuff, check out my TikTok. That is at AfroX_YT. And yeah, you can I do random stuff on there, and mostly like soda reviews if you're into finding out what flavors of soda to buy. But yeah, I do other stuff on there. I do random things. But AfroX_YT is the TikTok. And yeah, check us out on there. On Facebook, you can join the official AfroX fan club. And if you join it, you will be added to a chat where you will be the first to hear if I have to skip a week or if anything is going on with the channel that is outside of the norm. And that doesn't cost anything to join that, so that's a great thing to get in on. Also, I have decided that I'm adding a new perk for the people who are donating on Patreon $30 a month or more. On my secret Discord, and I'm going to plan this in the future, but on my secret Discord, I'm planning on having anime watching nights where I will be streaming anime. So I'm really excited to be starting that. So yeah, that's all for now. Keep YouTubing, YouTubers, and this will be continued on the next piece of One Piece.